All right, and welcome back to NBA Shorts. We have an episode this time. We have Jackson Law on the line. He is one of our great bloggers. The topic for today, Jackson is a big Memphis Grizzlies fan, so we're going to go a little crazy here. Is Jaren Jackson the best young modern big in the league? What are your thoughts on Jackson? Because Memphis is in the playoff hunt here, and he is absolutely maybe their best player, one of their best players.
Yeah, he's definitely established himself probably as the second or third option, depending on who they're playing each night. Not a whole lot of people know too much about Jackson. He came in the draft that saw Trae Young, Luka Doncic, DeAndre Ayton, all around him. So, there are some big names in that draft, but I think that he'll definitely be, 5-10 years from now, looking back as another one of those top great picks and, just add on to how great that draft was. And head coach Taylor Jenkins has done a good job at really developing him in his second year here in his sophomore year as being kind of what you would think, kind of what the NBA has trended towards, or what a lot of NBA teams want in a big man, where they're really their ability to stretch the floor opens it up. And especially if it works well for Memphis, you have John Morant, a fantastic rookie point guard, who's a point guard first, scorer second, and then you have Valanciunas, a big man who's really been surprising and fantastic for the team, working it down low. What Jaren's able to do is spread out the floor, give Valanciunas the ability to do work down low, but you also have to respect Jaren's shooting ability. If you go back over this past month and a half, which has just been crazy for Memphis, his shooting percentage, he's in the over 40% for his three-point field goals, which is outlandish for a guy that's 6'10", 6'11", and to shoot the three that well. But also, you can't overplay him because he's lengthy enough and he's a decent enough ball handler with both of his hands, where he can drive by you, lay it in, or dump it off to one of the other players to get a bucket.
Yeah, I have two things here, because I obviously don't watch the Grizzlies like you do, but I've seen him on a handful of times. From the things that I've seen, I think it's fair to say that he could have a better career than Trae Young, and Trae Young gets a lot of the attention because they want to say, oh, he's the next Steph Curry, even though he's not. From what I've seen out of Jackson, I think it's very realistic to say he's the better player, and he's a way more efficient shooter than Trae Young is, and absolutely a better defender.
Yeah, just what his success all depends on. One, it depends on him being able to stay out of foul trouble. That's something that he in the few games that have been nationalized, people outside of Memphis probably hadn't seen it, but everyone that watches Grizzlies games understands that really quickly he gets himself taken out of games, like games that we have a chance to win, but he won't get his hands all the way up. He will throw the hand down on someone as they're trying to go up, but he's got to get that under control. And also, people have to remember that when the draft came along, he was the youngest person in the draft. He was 18 years old when he was drafted, and he was just he's raw talent is what he is. So maybe Trae Young was a bit more refined coming in, and obviously, I'm biased, so yeah, I agree. Jaren may have the better career, but Jaren had the raw talent that was there and had the makeup that, if he is coached correctly and if he is in the proper system, then you're looking at the making of a future all-star in the league, one of the bigs that people really talk about, someone that, maybe 3-4 years, maybe he can, go toe-to-toe with Giannis, and he already did this year. He had a 40-point game that he dropped going back and forth with Giannis, a pretty fun contest between him and the Bucks. So the future's bright for him. I'm excited, and I can't wait to see how his game further develops as we go further.
Before we close this out, what's your comp for him? Because as I look around the league, I'm not sure there's a guy in the league quite like him, and that's probably a good thing. But the only thing I think is close is he's maybe a more physical, not as tall Kristaps Porzingis with the way he can dribble and run the floor and shoot from the outside. Is that a fair comp? Is that something Jackson will be, or do you think he'll be better, worse? Where do you see him?
I see him as it is definitely a fair comp, because when Porzingis came into the league, we never seen anything like it. This person that's standing almost 7 feet tall is chunking shots way out from behind the three and is shooting them at an efficient rate. At least he was before he got hurt and went to Dallas. But I think Jackson has the potential to be better than that. I think what he has that Porzingis lacks is his ability to drive the basket. And he's so long and he's so lanky that if you get even just a foot behind him, then it's over. You better hope that whoever's in help defense is going to be in position. But if you've got shooters around everywhere else, he may not be there, and then you're going to get embarrassed because he's going to beat you to the rim. And I think that's what is really going to set Jaren apart from other bigs, and why I think he is like the perfect big that you want on your team, especially a young team that you're not really thinking that you're going to compete for a couple years. But of course, he stepped up his play. John Morant's played well. Everyone on the team has played well. And I'm just happy to see him starting to get some recognition.
All right, and that's going to do it for this episode of NBA Shorts. Jaren Jackson looks like he has a super bright future in the league, no doubt about it. Thank you guys for watching. Please hit the subscribe button, and we will see you next time.